Leading up to your injury, you established yourself as a dominant offensive presence in the ACC. What had you done before this season to improve upon your game, and what was working for you at the plate?
Coming into the season, I really wasn't trying to do anything in particular different than any other way I've prepared for any past season. Really just tried to be as consistent as possible and get good pitches to hit in the zone in hitters' counts. So I was able to do that past couple weeks or so, and it's too bad that this injury had to happen, but I was feeling really good at the plate.
You left the game last Friday against Clemson with the hand injury. What was going through your head in that moment?
It was a little bit of a confused feeling at first because I wasn't exactly sure what was going on. I kind of had an idea just because leading up to the injury, my hand had been bothering me a little bit, and I looked up the symptoms for it, and I pretty much checked all the boxes for a fractured hamate. So when I eventually did have that swing where it kind of felt like a knife going through my hand, it was a pretty upset feeling. I got really nervous and kind of wondered if I was gonna be able to bounce back or not, but it wasn't a good feeling by any means.
And after learning that you needed surgery on that hand, what is the biggest impact of that surgery and of being taken out of the game for a little bit?
I think the biggest thing for me is not being able to be out there with my teammates and going out and competing and working on getting into the ACC tournament. There's a lot of stuff going on off the field that I don't have any control over, whether it be draft stuff or along those lines, and that stuff's frustrating, to have to deal with people wondering like how are you going to bounce back for that type of stuff. But that's not really where this is hitting home with me. This is really upsetting to me in the fact that I can't be out there with my teammates competing every day and working towards our goal of going as deep into the postseason as possible. So that's what's really bothering me and kind of keeps me up at night.
What about this team makes you guys so close and such a special team?
I've played on a lot of teams throughout my athletic career, and I can honestly say that this group is as close as any group I've ever been with. I'd lay down in traffic for one of them, and I know they do the same thing for me. It's just, it's a family. We're up, every morning together, getting our lifts in, spending the whole day together, eating meals, going to the field, afterwards, after the games, we're going out, whatever it might be, we're all together. And it's really hard to have, that taken away from you, not being able to go out there and compete with these guys. So that's why it's so difficult to deal with right now. But, we're so close and everybody's picking each other up. So, I'm really optimistic about what these guys are going to be able to do.
You're a Northeast kid playing at a Northeast school. Why was BC such a natural choice for you coming in?
I think like most kids in the Boston area growing up, Boston College kind of has, that presence in your life where it's the the biggest college sports team around, and it's a dream to come here. And my mom was one of 7, and 5 of them came here. My grandfather went to Boston College, so it's kind of a no-brainer. But I grew up loving Boston College, and to this day I'm very, very passionate about BC.
What has BC taught you in your 3 years here?
Well, I mean, just the Jesuit mission and men and women for others, and just being the best person you can be is definitely something that has had a big impact on my life. And then Pete Frates has been huge. He's incredibly instrumental in my life. It's actually funny. I was having a conversation with him the other night, and he reached out to me and he said, "Hey man, really sorry to hear about what happened. Like it's a tough break." And I just kind of replied, I was like, "Pete, you know what? Like, the scheme of things, this is nothing. You've taught me, how to be positive and optimistic in, such tough situations. So, this is a setback, but it's really nothing. And, there's so much worse out there. And, I'm just trying to remain as positive as possible and get back to the field to help my teammates as soon as I can."
Now, there's been talk that, the Eagles can't score without you in the lineup. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's ridiculous. This team is excellent. We have guys 1 through 9 that can get the job done. And, my success is due to everybody in front of me getting on base and, allowing me to drive those runs in. And, without me in the lineup, it's not really a factor, I don't really think, because somebody's going to step up and get the job done. I've got so much faith in these guys and just how hard they work and, how driven everybody is and how determined they are to be successful. I think, we're going to be fine. So I think that that's ridiculous if people think we can't score. and I think we're going to prove that going forward.